Good evening. Hello, hello, hello. It's me, Blue Moony, fantasy writer and shy magical library in human skin. We are still at it, attempting to reach 50,000 words in 1 month, but not really. But we are, but not really. Considering my, self-imposed aim to not aim to win, well, we're doing reasonably well. It is only day 6. I really don't want to speak too soon, but we are ahead of writing schedule, which is a good sign. That's probably mostly due to the fact that I have started writing in my preferred form, which is pretty much in note form, just as detailed as possible and as in order as possible. I much prefer to pull things together as the second draft, or, this is first draft part 1 and pulling it together as first draft part 2. Or something along those lines. I am getting more excited about this story as I'm, figuring out more and more, not exactly where it's going, because we kind of knew the progress of the story already when we did our planning, but how it's going to get there and everything else that's sort of woven itself in as we've been thinking, and, important things that have finally come to light. And if I hadn't thought of that, this story would not be nearly as good. So I'm looking forward to getting it done. But, the actual progress, I think, is going to be a true slog, honestly. I've said it many times. I think we'll be lucky if we manage to get to the end of part 1, as I'm calling it. The sort of the first probably 15 to 20 chapters will be part 1, which is all the stuff that happens in the first city we're in, still nameless, but in the first city. And part 2 is the canyon chase, and I've been calling part 3 Endgame, but I think part 3 will sort of be more like a small appendage on the end of part 2. I don't think Endgame deserves its own part. It's probably not going to be big enough. And it's not like we're going to be calling things part 1 and part 2 in the actual story. Not in this one. I'm doing things like that in other stories, but not in this one. But, yes, just as a way of helping me wrap my head around writing the thing. And I've probably, gone against my own interests in wrapping my head around this thing in particular today, because in the few minutes before starting streaming, I was feverishly taking notes for a different story. It's one of the ones I've been working on for years and years, but just so happened last night as I was going to sleep, I figured a few things out, like nothing vital to the story, just how I'm going to order a few events and rearrange things, because I have written this story, at least the first one of the series, in its entirety once before. It's just not good enough and requires an awful lot of changes. And yes, I was figuring out a few of those changes, and this was the first, proper chance I got to get it all down, so I got it down. I did not want to forget the order of things. I didn't want to forget, the main character's reaction to a certain piece of reasonably devastating news. Oh yes, this is my shifter one. I've mentioned it once or twice, I think. But yes, starting off thinking about a different story is probably not the best way to go. But let's try to get into this. Okay, let's turn the background music down. Goodbye. Thank you for being lovely music, and let's get to the lovely rain. Lovely rain, lovely rain. And Should we have a look at our stats first? Let's jump over here. Here are our stats. So I'm currently at 10,402 words out of the 50,000 that Nano aims for, and that, I'd like to aim for, but probably should not push myself too hard to reach it. So yes, just over 20%. I have all of these lovely badges. I'm still waiting for some others. I think there's some self-giving badges somewhere. I think I've given myself one. There might be others that I should have given myself. Let's just have a quick look. Oh, it's not there. I don't remember where it is. Oh, is it on the profile? Oh yes, personal achievement badges. Let's just have a quick look at this before we get into it. I'm a planner. Or I should have done so much more planning than we actually did. I've truly skimped on the world building, and that's biting me in the rear a little bit. But I still think it's okay to just make notes to myself of where I'll have to world build in the future. No, I'm looking forward to thinking more about that and filling in these gaps appropriately. I'm not a pantser. No hardcore spontaneity for me. I'd love to try it, but yeah, I did not think it was a good idea to try that this year. Plantser, another thing I'd like to try. A bit of planning and a bit of improvisation, but probably won't be happening. Novella writer. Okay, so... Oh, no, I'm not doing novella. Incognito. Writing in strange places. No. Back up your writing. Yes, I'm doing that. It's all on an external hard drive. Yay. Yay, that one. Writer wellness. Taking care of yourself as you write. Let's move on. Moved yourself to tears. Not yet. Perhaps it'll happen. Eureka moment. I think I sort of had that with figuring out, Min as the anti-prime and the researcher, having a connection to the original Fate Prophet. I think that really does sort of pull things together. So I'll give myself the Eureka badge. Yay. Tell the world. Committed to writing a novel. Oh, I suppose I've been talking about it a bit on social media. Yeah, that I can have that one. Virtual write-in. No, I have not actually even put in my local area. Oops, no, I don't want that one. I accidentally clicked it. There we go. Not that I don't want that one. I don't deserve that one. Rhymo spirit. I think I've cheered a few people on, but just quietly. Not enough to deserve this badge. So, next generation. No, I have not done that. A rebel. Start writing anything but a brand new novel. I've done this lots of times, but it's not this year. Old school Rhymo. Tackle the first draft of a new novel. Yeah, I'm going old school this year. And gear up. I have not gotten any merch because the shipping is so expensive. But yes, if I win, I will consider getting the shirt, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's get back to the stats page. Okay, so where are we at? Okay, so it's day 6. I'm currently at 10,402, and to be on track today we would have had to have hit 10,000, so we're just above where we need to be today. And if we hit par, we should not only stay above goal, but keep creeping a little higher. That said, I'm not sure I'm going to reach par, given I've been procrastinating this long already. Okay. Okay. We should give this a go. Oh yes. Hopefully we'll even reach the info dump. Yes, it's time to get brilliant with our info dumps is the chapter of this video. Whoops. Let's get to Scrivener. Hello, there we are. So yes, I've got quite detailed notes for this one. Quite detailed, but I'm not going to be, directly copying them across. They're still going to be reasonable thinking and ordering and structuring and ordering the same thing. Not quite. Subtle differences, probably. I just can't think of any right now. Ordering and structuring. Okay, so this is the rough order, which sort of leaves out a big thing I've got there. So Citra, admin, conversation, floor class, and we're going to get some cool things in there. Hopefully, I talked briefly about it yesterday. It's one of the special notes I took in to add throughout part one. So I thought this was an important bit to get down before I forgot it. So, whoops, that's not right. There we go. Okay, so maybe today we can do our best to maybe get to the end of the test. We can try our best. Oh, I hope that's not aiming too high. If it doesn't look like we're going to get there, I'm going to do my best not to worry too much about it. Okay. Oh, wait, I thought of another random thing. Do you remember in chapter 2 there's talk that Grands took the emergency money to place a bet, and I probably... let's have that they've already gone out and placed the bet. But it'd be cool if it was for something for today and they actually did have a big win, and so, nice things are waiting, but Liot never gets home to them. Oh dear, it's not like Min or Grands can really enjoy them either. So where will that be? Down here. Oh goodness me, I've got a lot of notes for the test and everything. I'm hoping that'll make getting it down properly a little easier, and hopefully I'm not being lazy. Okay, so in here, it's had a big win. Really looking forward to, gloating to the yacht. I don't think they would have spent everything. They would have, probably would have saved most of it, and they wanted to give it to the yacht and see his face light up. Excuse me, sorry. I wonder if they bought the boots that Liot needed. Oh dear. I'm nasty, aren't I? I'm nasty. This is just a nice little family trying to get by, and I'm treating them horribly. Yes, that does mean I'll need to jump back to chapter 2 and just add a couple of notes here. There's the bet stuff, it's nearest to the beginning. So I'm just going to add a note here. Sort of a, what's the word, exhibition. So I'll just have to change a few things up here. Okay, we've been going for a while now and I still haven't actually written anything properly. Oh dear. Just to prolong it even longer, let's have some water. Okay. Let's see. Suppose we can just start in the middle of the conversation. As, you know, describing how the two of them sit down and use that to show their personalities a little bit. Sorry. What did I put down here about? I do have some teasing and stuff from class members for a bit after the conversation, but that can all happen in the actual classroom. Min always finds the good in things, so she probably have a few good things to say about their classroom, despite it being probably quite cramped and dismal. That means when I go back to chapter 1, I'm really going to have to, fix up the descriptions for the tunnels and the neighborhood, because Min would see it, in its best light possible. And so I'm just going to jump back and take another note. I will start chapter 3, I promise. Maybe something like the scars, something like that. Daylight savings be done. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, daylight savings, it's a mind warp, that stuff. Yes, I'm currently in it where I am, and it's still, ridiculously bright daylight when I'm trying to settle the small one down, so she's adjusted fairly well, thank goodness. Hello, how are you? I hope so much you're well. I am just still procrastinating and haven't actually written a word of chapter 3 yet, just adding notes everywhere. Just a few realizations, a few slight note adjustments. Okay, so we're starting off chapter 3. Really just as they're I mean, I don't really want to waste the time walking into the classroom, so just as they're sort of throwing themselves down on their desks. And because I've realized that Min sort of sees everything in the best light possible, that will affect the way she sees the environment around her. So even if it is quite dismal and cramped and dirty, she's still going to pick out the best things about it and highlight those. So, okay, let's see. I really should be putting Min first, because she's the protagonist, but Sita is just such the big personality, I just automatically put her first and Min follows. No problem with that. Well, not just herself. Kicks out her. Mix Max and scrapes and bangs. Lounges on her desk. In my mind, I automatically just go to the anime style classroom with all the separate desks in rows, but that's probably not how this is. This, they're severely lacking in space, and they've probably got more upwards room or vertical room than horizontal, so it's probably set out a bit more like some university lecture theatres, just quite a steep slope, and probably long shared desks. How does Min sit down? She'd pull back her chin without a sound. I believe we dropped out momentarily. I'm so sorry about that. Something odd happened with Prism. It doesn't look like it was the issue that I've previously had, so I'm not quite sure what happened. I'm sorry. We seem to have reconnected with no problems though, so hopefully that won't happen again. That would not be useful. Goodness me, that was a bit of a shock. Oh dear. Sorry, just hovering on a worried cloud right now. I don't really want that to happen again. Oh dear. Let's keep going. That's all we can do. So, yes. Yes. So they would just have the one piece of tech to use as phone, as tablet for writing things for school and for everything. What else would she need on the desk? I'm a big fan of styluses, of using those to write on things. I'm not sure what else you really need if you've got everything on tech. I kind of like including the styluses here because styluses play, not an important role, but a bit of a role in my main magical project, so I like the idea of just including them. Excuse me, sorry. I'll think of something else. Think of something else to include. Oh dear. Looks like we are running into some problems. I've just hit some no data again. Let's just wait and see what happens. Oh, an excellent connection again. In and out and in and out. Not very useful. Goodness me. Sorry, I'll try not to worry too much about the connection and hope that it just, every time it drops out, it'll come back. Oh dear. New problem to deal with. Not exactly what I need. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, I think it's Min who will bring this up. Oh dear. I don't know, probably. I was wondering whether she could have already planned something nice to do for people who thought they were going to make it but don't. But I don't know, I don't think anyone would like taking something like that from Min, given she's the very lowest. I don't know. I'll think more about that. Whether there is anything else that she could do here. Probably in here would be a good place to briefly describe the room, because we can describe the other students in and around it to make it flow a bit better, maybe. Never remember what it's. I don't know, just raising seats or something. Tiered seats. I'm not sure of the actual term. Probably know it, but my mind is not bringing it up. Stadium seating? Is that kind of the word I'm looking for? That really want to. No, that's not quite what I mean. Like grandstand or something like that. Excuse me, sorry. I'll just do. Possibly Min would zero in on like any decoration or pictures or anything that's there. Or, you know, possibly the history carved into the desks from generations of students. if they've got things like charts and pictures on the wall, she'd probably be, fascinated by them. He spends lunchtime standing by them and learning more things. Artwork, yes. There probably wouldn't be any plants in there unless Min could have, given one to the teacher as a gift and he keeps it on the desk. Because Min's teacher is pretty cool. I think most of the students like him. And yeah, he's always been good to Min, particularly given her situation. It's not a good time to sort of go into teacher relationship yet. There'll be plenty of time when he talks to her before class. Yeah, so if we mention any of the describe in a light like ancient yeah, such a steep room. It's definitely not very accessible, is it? I suppose not much about this place is there? Might have to remedy that. We can have some sort of slope. If half the I think I've seen that in Japan before with the stairs going up and over overpasses. Part of it is stairs and the rest of it is a ramp. So I think we'll think about adding that in. I mean, chosen ones aren't really the sort to cater to people in the inner city's needs, but I'll think about it. Okay, let's see if we can move on a bit. Min would know everyone's names and can show a few different personalities by what they're doing. Okay, let's keep moving. Excuse me. I think Min would be very, very familiar with the fate of everyone in her class. She would remember, I think. Do you think it's probably they're in the same class throughout all of school? I still haven't settled on something. I'll just go with propensity for now. Fate propensity. Attractiveness to fate. Fate magnetism. Something like that. Move this. Here we can have her mention someone who joined Trouse's cohort when they were 17. You know them by name. Excuse me, sorry. I'll figure it out later. How to move into this? I don't know. It's right there, but the exact segue I am unsure of. Probably don't even have to describe it as dialogue, can just say, you know, there's a line down here that I wanted to use here. I think it's important to point out that Min does have strong opinions on things, even if, you know, they're not altogether very notable things, really. But yes. Giggly clashes. All in fun, friendly, giggly clashes. Over, you know, silly fun things that teenagers should get the opportunity to think about. And they do, but, you know, it'd be nice if they were given the opportunity to do anything else too. Okay. Oh, there we go. Pop here that. Okay. So all of this is covered. Just bold that, hopefully I'll remember I've already used it. We have giggly clashes over there. Cannot spell allegiance. Sorry about that. Oh, yep. I caught the word count thing. I've thrown a few notes in, so would have gone up a little bit. Let's see how we're going. 469. Might as well throw them in. 469. Oh, no, not there. We want the total word count. What's the total word count? Show me again, please. 10,871. 871. Okay. So yes, 469 words today. So I still, if I can reach par, I'd like to. Oh dear. Okay. Thinking about men being pumped up about Trouse. It's nothing like a what's the word? A one-sided relationship or anything. It's not. Of course, it's parasocial because every relationship like this is parasocial in some way. But she's not. She doesn't have a celebrity crush on him. She just supports him. Like maybe someone can tease her at one point about having, the lowest fate person in the city having a crush on the highest fate person, and Min being a little confused by them saying she has a crush. Sorry, I think I knocked my mic then. I hope I didn't hurt your ears. Inspires her. I'll have to think about what it is about Trouse that has caught Min's attention. Like there has to be something. It's not that he's the golden boy or the biggest one, the biggest chosen one. That wouldn't be it. There's got to be something else about him. It's, something about his demeanor, or she sees something in his face that makes her want to support him. Oh dear, looks like we're having some data problems again. Hopefully they'll solve fairly quickly. Oh dear. Oh dear. I'll do my best not to be distracted by streaming software issues. Because it's still working. So long as it's working, we're fine. I won't use to the moon and back, but I'll think of something along those lines. Oh dear, no data again, that's not useful. And we're back. I'm getting dizzy just watching this connection. I wonder what's going wrong today. I'm sorry if it's causing difficulties. Causing you any difficulties with the stream. I'm reluctant to really call many other people in the class Min's friends. They're all acquaintances, and most of them quite like her because she is, a very pleasant person. But, a lot of them also don't miss the opportunity to make fun of her. Can I spell acquaintance? Apparently not. Still apparently not. There we go, that makes more sense. I really am going to have to try to show a way that Min isn't a total pushover fairly early on. Well, I guess we kind of see that when she throws a patroller over her shoulders. But, I just mean, she's a follower. She tends to do what she's told. She likes guidance in doing things, but she knows the line. So I need to find, and I suppose it makes as much sense for her, the line to be, when she's being held against her will as a scientific experiment, I guess. Once I think of what it is, her reasoning for why she is so stuck on Trouse, I'll pop that there and how would the classmate react like that? I've just got the sort of slightly incredulous, I guess. Maybe wish Min luck in a pleasant way. Pleasant. turning back to, but doing something else. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Well, it's not Seacher, it's Min. Who knows? Need a better term than beat, but, you know, thrash doesn't sound quite right, and I'll think of a better one. At this rate, we're not even going to get through the teacher's conversation, are we? And if that happens and we don't actually reach the tarot tests themselves, I would have named this video inappropriately. Oh, goodness me. Excuse me. Oh dear. Tomorrow morning I should be alright, but on Wednesday morning I am going to be most unhappy because I've ordered groceries and they will be coming very early in the morning, so I'm probably only going to wind up with a couple of hours sleep that night. Oh dear. Well, you know, if we can get far enough ahead, I can do a little less that day, or the day before being tomorrow. I had been thinking about maybe trying to take this Sunday off, but, you know, I've already made all my thumbnails, and they have day 1, day 2, and all of them, and I don't want to go have, you know, a NaNoWriMo live stream playlist that does not have 30 days of NaNoWriMo in it. So, yes, I may aim to make Sunday an easy day too. I keep saying this and I'm probably not ever going to do it. Oh well. Let's keep this going. Citra. So lovely. Whole class can hear. You know, she probably intentionally spoke that loudly saying this, but I don't think Min would. Min's observant, but I don't think she'd really make the connection that Citra was being loud on purpose about that. Whole class can hear? Can hear. Been TKing these, have I? Had better. And I know I'll be going through it fairly closely, but there might come a time I have to search all the TKs. So no gold, please. It's a YA book, and it's probably not the best place to put, harsher swears in there. So I'll just describe it. Can't spell repertoire. Maybe that should be a series. Words Blue can't spell. I know what two of them would be. One is lieutenant. I think I can mostly do it now, but for the longest time I could never spell lieutenant. And it popped up an awful lot in the story I was writing at the time, but I still, for whatever reason, couldn't spell lieutenant. And any word with bureau in it, bureaucracy, bureaucratic, all of those, I just can't get the vowels in the right order in bureau, ever. A few things, reasons why. The heat. Food. Maybe the water in the canyon's not good to drink. The water at the bottom of the canyon. And maybe you mention here of, some of the megafauna. Because I think I'd originally had a note saying, people believe them to be extinct, but maybe that's another thing to keep them out of the canyon. And maybe Sita is dismissive of it. She thinks it's just a ploy to keep people in the city working for the chosen ones. But when they get out there, not entirely a lie. Still so obsessed with the Ryuk. Not sure primly is the right word I'm after, but Sita would raise her chin high. Is this a shin high? No, that's an entirely different situation. Raises her chin high. I believe someone say you're as bad as men, even everyone thinks she's obsessed with Trouse. On a random note, I am so glad I chose the name Trouse. I'm so glad it popped up. It popped up in my language naming generator. It just sounds really right. Maybe it's just because it does sound like Klaus, so it does maybe help a bit with the suspension of disbelief when it comes to fantasy names for characters, but I really like the sound of Trouse. It pleases me. And Min is adorable, and Citra suits her so well. I really like Brioche. I suppose I'm just not hugely accustomed to seeing it was just the C on the end, but we're not adding a K, it's just C on the end. That's how it works. Yes, I think we did well with naming our characters. You know, still plenty left to name. A lot of these students will have to get names, so... Oh dear. I may think of some as we go through the tarot tests, but I'll probably just wind up, naming everyone at a later date. I still have handwritten pages with the names, spellings, and how they'd be written in IPA form. Just pages of them generated, that I've generated, but yeah, I haven't had quite as much luck since we named the main characters. I may have to go through several sessions looking for the best names again. But not now. I'm not obsessed, says Citra. I respect him, unlike any other chosen one. Oh, maybe she can make a comment here. She reckons he's the prime. No, you know what I think. You want to know what I think. No, we don't. Oh dear, we can't really have Min fade too much into the background here. I mean, she does fade into the background during the conversation, everything going on here, but she is the point of view here, so she still has to be central. So even though she's not talking, we just need to make sure she stays very present. Yeah. Talking here and is likely being ignored by everyone, probably including Citra. Oh dear. We're good. My eyes snagged the word count again. How are we doing? 11,347. So I'm just going to quickly update. 11,347. 11,347. Update. Let's just have a quick look over here. There we are. We're now at 945 words today of, it says I need 1,584 to finish on time, but I still want to try to reach 1,667, if at all possible. But yes, we are staying nicely, slightly above the line. I'd like to widen the gap. Oh, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. I hope I didn't blast your ears too badly then. Oh, I know I should be trying to mute the microphone to cough, but that one indeed did sneak up on me. But yes, we should quite easily reach the target for tomorrow, today, and even surpass it. So, all in all, we are doing quite well. And yes, I know I already have very detailed notes for this chapter, And I'm probably going to need the extra words later on when I reach chapter plans that aren't quite as detailed. I don't think I'll have too much trouble writing it in note form, but, you know, it will slow me down. Not as much as if I was trying to write properly, like I did for the first few days. I don't dislike everything that I wrote in chapters 1 and 2 that I did attempt to write in a readable fashion. I don't dislike it all. It's just, you know, it wasn't singing to me, which can be a little bit disheartening. But yes, editing can fix that. But I'm enjoying writing like this for now. It's much more relaxing for me, and generally more exciting too. Okay, what does Citra say anyway? She says, I think Riox the Prime. Gasp. Dismay, blasphemy, all these things. I will mute the microphone to cough this time, excuse me. Goodness me, this cough's been around for a little while. It hasn't really branched into any other symptoms of illness, so it's probably nothing to worry about. If I start to get ill, I'll start to worry about it, I guess. For now, I just hope it's not, you know, affecting your enjoyment of the lovely rain and the tippity-tappity of my keyboard and my, you know, floating, mumbling and comments and whatnot as we attempt this. Brazen. That's a good word for Citra. Oh dear. What's someone calling her? Something along the lines of twisted, but twisted isn't quite the word I'm after. Oh dear, not sure what word I need there. Okay, what word do I really want? Because at the moment I have no clue. Okay, maybe at this point someone engages me. She's a bit startled as she's, you know, paying attention to future etc. Name the person, very brief, min-tinged description, so good qualities. Oh dear. I'm gonna have to write everything through min-tinted glasses. Writing is like forging iron. Each paragraph you hammer like glowing iron with each revision and editation or something like that. Already forgot the exact words of Nietzsche. Yes, I imagine it's difficult to remember the exact words of Nietzsche. I very highly doubt I could, but it's a lovely analogy. And it definitely applies. Oh dear. So... Yes, as always, I don't want to spend the time now thinking of the name for this person or how Mim would describe them. That will come later. It's just getting every beat down as best we can. Okay, so I won't do that interaction right now. We'll just add in Citra intervenes. Min tries to defend the person. Didn't mean anything by it. Just, having some fun. You didn't look like you were having fun. Just caught me by surprise, that's all. Reminds each other that they're all stressed. Good day. Good everyone. Citra. I can see the unhappy nostril flare here, but she probably would stop at this point because clearly Min wants her to stop. Nostril? Nostril. Okay, so Min should possibly receive some minor ridicule/teasing. So Min receives some minor ridicule/teasing. Another two join in. Possibly indicate Citra. No, she doesn't seem like she's here at the time. She's probably arguing with someone. Oh, that's right. That's all. Yeah, I think I wanted Citra saying, I'm not sure where I'm going to fit this in. I don't think this is the right spot. I don't know, it seems some random information that possibly wouldn't come out very naturally. Maybe it could work in the info dump we've got coming up. We haven't even reached the teacher conversation yet, for goodness sake. I'll try to think about that later. No, she wouldn't be barbed under her breast. She'd just be barbed. And that covers most of what I've got there. So I haven't said exactly what they're teasing about. It's, you know, just teasing in relation to, you know, absence of fate, particles, you know, plans of joining classes, cohort. See, I'll figure it out later. There is some minor ridicule directed towards Min, which she possibly doesn't perceive wholly as ridicule. Still doesn't really enjoy it. Excuse me, muting to cough. And water time. Oh, that's right, I missed that one. Probably how that would start out. Oh, no, I'm looking at completely the wrong spot. Okay. Yes, we had attendance first, and then yes, I've got in these notes the teacher sort of going over what's gonna be involved, but I think it's probably best to leave that to the administrator. We can have the preacher warble on a little bit first about, you know, their duty to fate and whatnot. And then the administrator, we can have a bit of contrast there. You know, preacher, all in, very devoted. The administrator, you know, this is just another day at work. Sorry. Rearranging in a chair to see if it helps. Oh dear. Yes, having a few minor problems with streaming today. But yes, hopefully it won't get any worse than it's been already. Thank you for sticking with me. Okay, so I won't keep I'll just have the teacher sort of reassure the class with the coming tests. Oh, no data being received. Wonderful. Oh dear. Hopefully that won't last long. Sorry about the buffering again. Okay. Let's get this down. Teacher in. We can probably briefly about, you know, appearance and presence as walk in. His effect on class. I think there's a lot of mutual respect between the students and their teacher here. I like it when teachers have good relationships with the class. They think, you know, be very helpful for them, particularly in this situation. But it's probably not the best time to mention that. You can go into a bit more about the teacher during the conversation with Min. And stream health is back to excellent. Wonderful. What is the effect on the class? It's not instant quiet, but gradually settling down and drifting to the seats by the time the teacher has his, tech out to take attendance. All seated. Most on chairs, one or two on desks or stairs. Quiet, but for occasional whispers to neighbours. No use in American English. I know this. Teacher, not comment on that. Never did. Wasn't disruptive. No need. Okay. Greets. Possibly he'd do the quick talk about, tarot test first before going into the attendance. Probably doesn't matter, but we do have a short discussion. Well, I don't think I've even said what the discussion is, but I do have Citra is talking to Min while teacher is talking, and I think it'd make more sense that Citra will be talking while they're taking attendance and not while actually addressing the class as such, because yes, mutual respect also between Citra and the teacher. The teacher has not given Citra any reason to disrespect him. Probably one of the few adults who has not given Citra a good reason to disrespect him. I like writing healthy mentor relationships where possible. It's almost a bit of a shame that we're not going to see too much of the teacher. I don't really like much about him. I don't really know much about him, but what I know about him, I like very much. Maybe we can find some way to bring him back. Maybe he's in the Resistance. That could be nice. But, not everyone nice has to be in the Resistance. It's not how things work. I don't know. Maybe... Well, we wouldn't really see him at the end because he'd be in a different city. But maybe he did, maybe he did leave with the big resistance movement at the end. And, he's very, very active in the new community and possibly even training Min as a teacher sort of thing. That might be nice. Yeah, I might get a chance to see him a tiny bit more in chapter 5. Maybe he can be nearby when Min is apprehended and he protests. That would be a good way for him to, because that's at I have her being taken when they're at work. And I suppose he would be there because, he is their teacher. But all the students, they only go to school in the mornings, then they work in the afternoons. So maybe, the teachers have to go and work there too. That could work. Teach helps her hide at some point. I'm not sure we'd find an opportunity for that to happen given they come for her pretty much in chapter 5, just a few days after, and she doesn't really get a chance to run away. Maybe, yes, you're right. Maybe during the sorry, my hands are going everywhere as I'm thinking. I hope I'm not shaking the mic. I think with my hands, apparently. But yes, maybe he's a part of the escape. Yes, when Min and Citra are going back through the city, because I thought Citra would have it all under control, and maybe she thought they did, but they run into some trouble, and it's at his place where they lie low. That could work. That could work. Thank you. Yes, I like this. Let's fix the notes. Oh, this is fun. I like this. Excuse me, muting to cough. Too excited. Oh dear. Okay, so somewhere in chapter 5. Wait, no, I'm going to be silly and I'm going to put these in the to add throughout sections so I can count them in my word count. That's allowed, isn't it? Sorry, starting to almost get the adrenaline shakes now. I really like that. I was, really wanting the teacher to be in it more. And now he can. Oh dear, sorry. I'm feeling a little ridiculous right now. Okay. So, because the kids only go to school in the mornings and work in the afternoons at school affiliated employment. Did I spell affiliated wrong, or it just doesn't like it? Yep, it just doesn't like them together. Employment. Teachers teachers work there too in a supervisory capacity. Therefore, teacher is present when Min is apprehended. He protests, tries to step in, is forced to back off, promises Min as she's being taken away that he's going to do everything he can. Oh dear, poor teacher. I'd probably be Australian English. Let's go with A's and greys instead of E's. Looks like he could fall about it any second, but he doesn't. Good man. Not that someone who did fall apart wouldn't be a good man, but he manages to hold it together. Okay, and then this is going a long way out now, so... Oh wait, no. We can just add it here. During escape through the city, Citra and Min run into trouble. Probably already had a backup. He wouldn't know to be waiting for them, so I think... No, it seems unlikely it will be planned. Maybe they just run across him and he just automatically helps them. I know it's, big coincidence that you just happen to run into someone who can help you, but it's a story. Coincidences happen. And sometimes they even happen in real life. Um, yeah. Probably, gets them to take pretty much everything. Keep in mind, he will probably suffer somewhat for that because, no one has very good income, and I doubt he'd have anything extra. Money as well, do you think? I mean, who is it? Is it? Would Seatrib? No, Seatrib doesn't believe that there's no one in the canyon. She thinks there's people there. Maybe Min, because where would we spend it? That'll probably do for notes for that, but that's good. I'm so glad we've thought of that. It works. Oh dear, it's already 11:15. I doubt we're even gonna get to the info dump. Oh well, I suppose we'll just do another info dump related chapter title tomorrow. Goodness me, I can't believe it's taken me this long. I'm sorry. How's my word count going? 11,796. Just gonna fix that. Okay, so we're now on 1,394 words for today, and clearly that's including my notes and such, which I am fine with. I'm mostly fine with it. Okay. Well, let's try to at least get to the beginning of the tarot test. Let's try to get the preacher and the administrators and patrols and everyone in there, ready to go, at the very least. What do they call it? The test party will be here soon. Maybe just I'll be here soon. Yeah, don't need to do this. I'll have the administrator go over it because that's their job. I can have the teacher, his expressions saying that he disapproves of coming down to the front and reading things aloud and such. You can pop that in. I won't explain it here, but hopefully it'll be coming across clearly enough that he is not a fan of the, whatever it is, the fate system. Sentence. Miss her name. Several times. Called. Why did she miss her name? I'm just distracted, maybe. About Liot, that makes more sense. I mean, she is, very, not really worried about hers as such. She sort of has accepted what it's going to be. She wishes otherwise, and all her hopes are just sort of, lottery style hopes. Maybe she can just have a small daydream. They both chose and go to the upper city together. Then no. Scratches that out. Can't leave friends. What's that face? Oh dear, how are we doing? Not too bad, not too bad. Hopefully suture. In. Sit up straight. Almost knock the chair. Hand up, loud and clear. And, elementary school like present. I don't think she's embarrassed exactly, just a little flustered. Not sure she's really the type to get embarrassed as such very easily. Flustered definitely, but maybe not embarrassed so much. I do have her turning a bit pink when, be accused of having a crush on Trouse, but I'm not sure that's embarrassment as such. I think she's maybe just a little caught up in the moment and her devotion to her favourite chosen one or something. Okay. So, teacher, loud whispering to men throughout the rest of attendance. So spacey, etc. Got here, Citra's about to go on a rant. I'm not sure what she's going to go on a rant about, but it doesn't seem difficult for Citra to be rant ready, so... Not conversation, a very short conversation. Muting to cough. There we go. Maybe not to Citra. Just to... better not be, whatever it is I decide you better not be doing. And tired. That sounds like most good teachers. Wry and tired. I do have a talent for stretching things out, don't I? And I'm not sure talent is the right word for it. So long as it works. Okay, excuse me, sorry. I'm tired. Okay. So... okay, I should probably try to think about how this conversation actually goes, shouldn't I? Please start off with a inquiry as to how she's feeling. Probably get it from it. I'm fine, thank you. How are you? I would still probably say she's fine. Still against what's to come. Probably, throw a little minor info dump there, just explaining more about how school and work works for the older kids. how it normally works. Who is it? So it's until kids turn 16, they're all highly encouraged to do whatever it takes to improve their propensity to fate. But after 16 is when all encouragement drops off. So the encouragement would have already dropped off with these kids. So, I mean, it's not yet illegal to raise their fate propensity, but frowned upon. And that would come down here. We can get to that in a minute. Probably, yeah, it's from 12 and up, the same time they start the tarot tests. Wrong 4. Still not 100% settled on what the neighborhood occupation is. But maybe there's a few of them and each class works somewhere different. Not each class, but not all classes work at the same place. That's teachers work too in supervisory capacity. But your situation is a little different. Everyone with a fate count below whatever I choose it to be below. After. Well, it would be after they're 16 probably, so are they 17 instead of 18? I did have Min and Citra both as, well, I had Citra as 18 and Min 17 and turning 18 at the end of the month. But maybe it makes more sense that they're, this is their second 17-year-old reading, so after their second 17-year-old test, and if their fate is below a certain count, then that's it. No more tests, no more school, just shunted into your forever occupation. Okay, so yes, probably makes more sense for them to be 17, which means slightly younger than Trouse and Brioche. That should be fine. It's only a year. Oh dear. Time to check word count. 12,219 it says. 12,219, 12,219, 12,219. How are we doing? Yay, we've passed par for today. Look at that. Oh, we can't look. I'll help you look. Here we go. Look at that happy little line. Happy little line staying just above I know for a fact with this little line wouldn't be so happy if I was still trying to write properly, so yes. I write best like this. I think I don't want the story to suffer because I'm trying to write in a way that I'm not most comfortable with. Let's look at the bar graph. What a lovely happy bar graph. Hooray! Oh dear. But let's see if we can do any more, see if we can at least get through the teacher conversation. Oh, I kind of wish I'd named the video something different now. Oh well, I suppose I could name it that part too. But that's not as fun. Goodness me, my amount typed each day really does fluctuate, doesn't it? But maybe we can shift this up a little bit more. I'll have to, really phrase this quite well and keep it very brief. Because I don't think I've actually mentioned it previously, and if I have, this is probably a better place to do it. She knows all of this, She's Min. She's decided to make the best of it. Where did I put this? I don't think I need to put that. This teacher's already been promoted quite highly in work yet, but that might come out more naturally later. Min will probably know roughly what should be put into what job. I've got sewers here as a possibility here, but I don't think I want to settle on anything just now, so 95% chance she will be put on insert unpleasant occupation here. Going to do my best. Manages to sort of not pump herself up, but just a little bit. There we go. Let's have a quick look at these notes. Suggestions to increase her propensity, but nothing's ever worked. I think possibly we should put this stuff first, like say it'd be such a waste for you not to enter teaching. Like, he probably knows very well that she'd like to be a teacher. She probably would have discussed it with him a fair amount. Possibly he even suggested it initially. And possibly he feels bad about suggesting it now, knowing that, he might have raised her hopes. Yeah, maybe he apologizes. This isn't how I want to phrase it, but just getting it down. I suppose there could be a nice parallel here if at the end of this conversation he's, promising to do whatever he can to see if there's any way to get her into teaching in whatever capacity. Oh, excuse me. And at the end of chapter 5 he'll be promising to do anything he can to get her out of what appears to be prison. Oh dear. Wonder what he would think she'd possibly be being apprehended for. Because, he would have known Min at least all of high school. Probably the least criminal-like person in the class. Yearbook thing, least likely to engage in criminal activity. I don't know, maybe I'm making it like that just to be a stark contrast with my main magical project protagonist. He would have been voted most likely to get involved in criminal activity. Because he was involved in criminal activity. No, he's a good boy, really. Just criminal leanings that he occasionally stretches out. Very occasionally. Used to be a lot more often. Very occasionally now. Oh, Kaz, I miss you. Oh, dear. Okay. Teacher asking, say least likely to engage in criminal activity. She has been going into the library, but I'm still not sure it actually counts as criminal activity because, there's not exactly a curfew. And if it's a public space, it would have, attended hours, but I don't know if it could be actually closed as such. So maybe, it's as close as she can get to committing something criminal. I don't know. And I suppose that could be another reason Citra agreed to help her with that in particular, because she knows it's not actually illegal, just a little suspicious. And, they don't really want to run into anyone on patrol anyway, whether they're doing anything illegal or not. So, it doesn't really make a difference in that respect. Okay, so I have teacher asking what she's tried to increase her hate propensity. Did you read blah blah? Cookie loaned her. Yes, apologizes for not turning it yet. Was reading it again. Oh dear, I hope Min's not getting a little too goody-goody. I know she is pretty goody-goody, but... I suppose it is a little cute and sad to have the kid who studies super hard and loves reading and is a little bit of a teacher's pet, have absolutely no fate no matter what she does. It's just a quiet, sad thing, maybe. I'm wondering if maybe, because we know that that Min went through fairly significant phases of depression when she was a bit younger, and all the help that she got was all based around how to come to terms with the fact that you were worthless, as opposed to trying to tell her that she's not worthless. So I wonder if her teacher kind of actually convinced her to stop getting that help, and, been having semi-therapy sessions with him. I don't know, maybe that's overstepping the boundaries for teacher-student relations. Maybe he found someone else for her to talk to, someone who would see her for free and, not tell her she's worthless. But yes, I didn't really want to say outright anything there. Hopefully there'll be a way for it to pop up later. I am sorry this is taking too long. I had truly thought we could get to the end of the actual tarot tests, but I'm guessing that's tomorrow, and we'll probably need the next day to finish off the chapter. Wow, that'll make it, what is it, 6, 7, 8 days on just 3 chapters. Oh dear. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Did you know that after I finished my first novel, I think it was the second huge redo of my first novel. This is while I was in Japan. I was on such a high after finishing that I think I wrote 8 chapters in 5 days of a brand new story. Most of it wasn't that bad either. I mean, I still remember some of it. I'm not huge on what my writing style was back then, but it was, quicker paced and a bit more actiony than stuff I'd written before. And I still really like it. I probably won't wind up... That's one story that's probably eternally shelved. I was thinking, what if all this time she was under observation? That was something was vaguely thinking about, because I was wondering, wouldn't someone have sort of raised an alarm about the fact that there's this kid who's had, zero fate particles for all this time, and that's kind of unprecedented, and it struck me as strange maybe if she wasn't under some kind of observation. So, it would make sense for even if not under very close observation, for there to be some sort of, what's the word? A note on her files or something. Or that her stuff is also sent to a few other people to review. Right, there is probably something going on, because it did strike me as very odd in planning the story that no one would have raised this, no one would have taken it higher. Like, I know, their files and scores go into the system, but it's not like they're really reviewed. It's just, the chosen ones that are sent up there. Because no one's particularly interested in very low fate counts. So I was wondering if that could be an excuse, but, when it's unprecedented like this, there is probably something there. I might just throw that down as a reminder, to add throughout. So, these files are tagged as of interest. View higher levels. I just can't see there would have been a huge amount of interest as such in her. I suppose, they're aware of her, but they're not really interested until they realise that she'd been potentially bringing down. But they didn't know that she would have been bringing down Liot's levels. But they would know that she is of interest, and now her brother is a chosen one, so yes, they'd want to check things out more then. They observe the effects of her on the population. Not yet, they weren't. No, they start to do, observations on that and taking measurements after they've found out that that's what she's doing. Looking at the wrong thing. Yes, they knew her levels were unprecedentedly, is that a word? They were zilch. Never been seen before. But they hadn't sort of taken the steps to try to connect that to anything else at this point. They should have, probably, but they didn't, probably because they are, very focused on chosen ones. It was an oversight. I'll probably have the researcher acknowledge that this was an oversight. Oh dear, I should probably put my word count in. I've got 7 minutes till midnight here. Should I press on and try to get, how they make case studies in populations? There could have been one after they found out. Yes, I think they will do something like that. Okay, 12,431. 12,431. 12,431. 12,431. Okay, so we've passed 2,000 words today. It just feels so strange that my word count is going up quite well, but it still feels like nothing much has happened. Just getting it down, that's all. We can do it. I think he can just express here he just doesn't understand how her propensity is refusing to shift. Yeah, I think he's probably a bit distressed by it, though he hides it well. Because, he's a good teacher. He wants the best for his students, and he's about to see, this really lovely kid just sort of go down the drain and her being unable to do anything about it. Won't really be able to have Min say that, but I'm going to have to convey it the best I can. I just can't phrase this. Simply say with zero bitterness. I have to shift this around a little bit. Not quite sure how to lead into it, but I think this will probably make more sense around in here than afterwards. Alright, I had a joke about wasting in the sewers, and that was an accident in poor tastes. Well, that's one good reason to keep the sewers for a bad joke. Throat. Actually, yeah, that's probably better to come up here somewhere. Not exactly here, but around there. I think we're seeing enough of the teacher's personality in this interaction. He's a good guy. Goodness me, I hope you don't hear my stomach grumbling. This keeps happening. Apparently midnight is snack time. Whoops, wrong one. 12554. 12554. Sorry, I was just trying to get my last words in before midnight. I might try to at least push through the teacher talk and at least have these guys get here, even if they don't go in yet. Oh dear. I've taken so long, we're only up to here. I have a feeling the chapters for this story may wind up being a bit longer. I think that might be a lot longer than I like them to be, but I think that might be inevitable given I've chosen to swap points of view back and forth. It's not like I can just cut this chapter in two in a good spot. That just won't work. It's fine in my main magical project, and I do that all the time in that one. So I can get the short, snappy chapters that I prefer. But hopefully I'll still be able to find a way to have it fast-paced, even if the chapters are a bit long. Longer than I like. I'm not sure what the average word length for YO chapters is in traditionally published books. No, I'm not sure. I just know that when things are published online, as far as I know, it's appreciated that they are, easily consumed, bite-sized pieces of writing, so people can read them in the snatched moments between work and home and transport and everything. So yes, that's the main reason why I like chapters of between 2,000 and 3,000 words. Preferably less than 3,000 words, but sometimes it just has to be. Okay, so let's try to get through this. It's only a little bit more of the teacher-min interaction. He's, gonna suggest that she goes out to the, what was I calling them? The cliff obstacles. Taking ridiculous risks is a tried and tested way to raise one's fate propensity in a hurry. And I suppose even raising that doesn't always mean the fate will be attracted to you. It's not an automatic thing, and one person might do it and have their fate propensity shoot up, and another might do it and have almost nothing happen. There's genetics involved. There's genetics involved in fate. Oh dear. Wonder if that's actually true. Not that I actually believe in fate. In fact, I think I spent a long time on my main magical project, the mentor character very sternly telling Kaz that no, this was not your destiny. You just happened to be in the right place at the right time. He was convenient. he handles it pretty well. I mean, he's a bit crushed initially, but no, he handles it pretty well. And I think one of his siblings goes through the same sort of, wow, this is my destiny, it's amazing sort of thing. But then, nah, nope, not destiny. It's just a job. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Oh, maybe her parents were still there and it was, it was just hanging there for ages. Gentle laugh. I suppose I don't really need to, explain in detail that kids go to the cliffs and are encouraged to go to the cliffs to try to raise their propensity. It's like, the sledgehammer way to raise your fake propensity, but super dangerous. Teacher, distaste again. I'll think of a better word. Distaste. Oh dear. Feels like there should be something, meaningful-ish said there. I'll think of something better, but... I'll phrase it better. I'm not good at being poignant or giving good advice. But hopefully the teacher is, and, this is probably some sort of foreshadowing to a later on event, so I'll try to keep it in mind. So... is to talk to, Teachers Association. Keep trying, even after she's moved to DC. Appreciates she be so together right now? This feels a little strange. Last recesses of poop ebbing away. Excuse me. So, administrator. Oh, can't spell administrator at the moment either. Here we go. The way they stand probably needs to, emanate order and authority. And again. Preacher, half a step ahead. Assistance. Come on, I'm not that tired. It's the squiggly red line. I don't like it. Here we go. Will the guard be at the back or flanking? Probably. Wait, is flank at the back? Why was I thinking flank is at the side? Of course flank is at the back. Oh dear. Probably the teacher too. Preacher can have a sort of more magnanimous, how do you say it? Did want to make a note about this preacher. I had to sneeze, but it's gone now. It's probably going to sneak up on me again. Let's try to finish the stream before it does. So, could they have been a local? Sometimes I wish I bought potato chips and corn chips so I could just eat them at this time. Stopped buying them because they're just, getting more and more expensive and the packets are getting smaller and smaller. It just doesn't seem worth it. I could really use some corn chips right now. I don't want any preacher who is just a preacher. They've all got other jobs. And I'm guessing the three heads of the government / business / religion that is this system, they're probably the top preachers, though I doubt they'd, give many services as such, just be at the very important things. Also, something vaguely impressive. I'm so sorry, excuse me. Almost up to the... Maybe I'll just briefly explain my info dump plan to make the video title even slightly true. Okay. Not assistant. The assistants don't say anything. No, how many classes after then? So would this technically be grade 11 for them? If they're 17, I think that's grade 11, so... Oh no, this involves counting two different numbers at once. I'm not going to work it out. Let's just go with... with 5 other classes after you. Okay. Maybe stop there. Goodness me, I'm so sorry we didn't even get to the tarot tests. But yes, we can aim to make tomorrow all about the tarot tests. And yes, may finish it up the next day. I mean, that could work as well if I need to have a slightly shorter stream tomorrow so I can get up early for groceries. Maybe if we just do the tarot test tomorrow, that should be okay. I mean, it's a big scene and a big event, but hopefully it'll be reasonably straightforward, and, you know, I've got a lot of notes for it anyway, so hopefully it won't take too much. Let's just update the word count one more time. And my count will be up slightly anyway, because putting some in after midnight. 12791, 12791, 12791. Or did you count them as... Oh no, here we are. Let's just update that. Refresh. There we go. Here we go. Okay. So, let's go over here again. Okay, so the info dump that's coming up is we need to explain fate properly because we haven't done it yet. We don't know how it works. We don't really know how the system works, and this is the best opportunity to do it when they're about to have their, you know, what is it, biannual fate test. So, with both the preacher and the administrator there, they can cover slightly different things. So the preacher can go into all of the backstory, whereas the administrator will, you know, go into the actual details of the test and rules and outcomes and everything. And, you know, I think it's okay to do an info dump here because it does sort of make sense in this situation to have some sort of speech here. I mean, we won't have it just blocks and blocks of text. We'll interrupt it a bit with, you know, Citra and Min whispering or other students whispering or random things happening to break it up. And yeah, I honestly prefer the way I've done my info dump in my main magical project because that one, you know, it's a good opportunity with that one to showcase the two main characters at this point's personalities. it works really well because, he can keep interrupting her and see how he thinks and how he handles all of this, incredible information he's getting. And we can see her personality and how she reacts to all of his interruptions and how she conveys all this information. So it works quite well then. I've read what I've written for that multiple times, and I don't find it boring. I hope no one else will. So, as long as info dumps are done in an interesting way, I think they're fine. My main beef with info dumps is, if a story just sort of starts with very, very distant third person, like going over history of things and stuff. I'm not a fan of that. It's slow paced. If an info dump can be reasonably fast paced, I think that's fine. I think that'll work. So that's what I'm going to try here. And keep it fast paced by keeping the world moving around the info dump as best I can. Again, we won't see that brilliantly in the way I'm writing now, but hopefully when it's all pulled together, hopefully I will have tackled this info dump fairly well. Oh dear. Okay. Well, I think we should probably call it at that. Just let me have a quick look over here. Whoops. Here we are. So I am still singing the parting glass at the end of each stream, and I have still not learnt it properly. I have a feeling I'm not going to learn it properly until after November at least, possibly longer. But I think it's working. I'm not sure how well my lungs and throat are helping, honestly, given the coughing and all of the talking. But hopefully it's not sounding too bad. Thank you so much again for sticking with me through this strange and weird and potentially lovely thing that we're trying to do here. Yes, I'm not sure how often I will attempt novel writing live again, but I'm definitely going to try out other forms of writing live after Nano. And even though it will be a while, possibly a year, possibly more, before this story is ever complete, we'll always be able to look back on these streams and see how it all began. And that's a nice thing to think about, I think. So thank you again for being with me. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I hope the rest of your day goes wonderfully. That would be a good thing. That would be a good thing. Okay. Of all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company. And all the harm that e'er I did, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night, and joy be to you all. Until tomorrow.